Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. It's me, Dani, and welcome if you're new. And so this video will be different than my other videos because this is more so about me personally and me giving advice to people who are in a similar situation as me. So I'm actually a senior civil engineering student in college, and to advance in your career in the future, you need to take an exam called the Fundamental of Engineering exam. And so I actually took that like about a month ago. And so I figured I might as well give my advice to future people who are going to be taking this exam because I passed the exam. So I figured might as well give people hints and stuff of how I did and then give them advice of like the exam day and things like that. So first off, let's talk about preparing for the exam. So I actually, about a month before I took the exam is when I really started preparing, which I probably shouldn't have waited that long, but I did. And then I started reviewing like the math section because I figured like, oh, I have plenty of time to really go in depth and study each section. And then all of a sudden I looked at the time and I'm like, I'm spending way too long on math. My exam's in a couple of weeks. So then I picked up my pace and started studying the other sections. So I'm going to tell you guys the different sections. And you guys can just Google search this, but might as well tell you guys. So I think there's a total of, 18 sections. And so there's a math section, probability and statistics, computer tools, ethics and professional practices, engineering econ, statics, dynamics, mechanics of materials, fluid mechanics, hydraulics and hydraulic systems, and then structural analysis, structural design, geotechnical engineering, transportation engineering, environmental engineering, construction, and surveying. So each of these questions, they give a range of like, each exam's different, so they kind of give you a range, like you'll have this at minimum and this at most, and then your exam will be 110 questions, I believe. So I just tried studying all these different materials to prepare for it. So I looked at like my old notes from classes and stuff like that, and then I also got a review book, which wasn't practice or had practice problems in it, but it's mostly like you read through and like learn terminology and kind of see how equations are applied in what situations. So I was able to go through most of that, and I feel like that really helped me. And so all the stuff I'm talking about, like I'll link in my description, such as my review book I use, which I got off Amazon, and I found that helpful. And then while I was doing practice problems, I made sure to look at the reference manual because on the exam's online, but you're given this reference manual so you can use any equation in there during the exam. So I figured that studying with that in front of me would help me better prepare for the exam, and I feel like it did. So I'd recommend either downloading it online or buying a hard copy, but with the exam being online, you could always use it online. And then while taking the practice problems, I also used a calculator. That they have a list of calculators that are approved. So I ended up getting, let me take off the lid, the Casio FX115ES Plus. So this is what it looks like. Hopefully it focuses. And I really like this one because it's more advanced than some of the ones they suggest, because on here they can actually take the integral and derivative and like some of the calculations they can do. The more basic calculators they recommend or suggest don't. So this helps you go through some of the like math sections faster so you have more time. So I forget exactly how long I had to take the actual exam, but the whole exam process was about 6 hours. So the beginning part, you sit down at the computer, they have like like not really a practical problem, but they kind of let you get a feel for how the software actually works. And I think at most you have like 8 minutes to run through that, but you can run through at your own pace. And then you have a set time for the exam. There's no way to like get more time on the exam, unless for other reasons, but it's like a set time. And then it's split into 2 parts. And at the end of the first part, which is around halfway through, but not quite, because mine, I think I was on question 52 when it stopped me, but it'll be different per person. And with there being 110 questions, my second section had a little more than half. And so you get a optional break if you want during that time period. However, if you decide not to take it, it's not like you get that extra time on your exam. You have a set time for the exam, a set amount of time for a break if you want one. So there's no way to get more time if you take a quicker break. So I recommend taking the break between the 2 sections to give your brain like a complete break because it's just a lot of material. And when I was taking the exam, what I realized is the first half overall is more so the basic general engineering stuff. So like statics, I believe, was on that, like ethics, math, the probability, all that stuff was kind of on it. And on the second half, it was more so civil based, since I took the civil engineering one. So it was more civil based questions. So it was more within my major and those type of questions. So that's how that exam kind of went and was structured. So I studied hard for it to prepare, like I mentioned, and I made sure you use the reference manual, the correct calculator, and anything. Like I kind of trying to take it with as if it was exam situations. I tried to solve it as quick as I could, and they also on the website NCEES website somewhere, you can also buy a practice exam just through the company. So I found that really helpful because it was semi-similar to the exam, and then they actually, in the back, there's solutions, so you can see, if you didn't know how to solve something, you can be like, oh, that's how you solve it. So I found that was pretty helpful. And let's see, what else about the exam? It's been over a month, so it's kind of a lot to remember about the exam. Let's see. So, on exam day, I'd recommend you know where the location that you're testing at is located, because that would be very helpful. So you don't get lost and you can find it. Because my exam started at 8 a.m., so I had to leave my house pretty early to deal with traffic and everything. So I'd recommend you know where the location is and know kind of how long it'll take to get there and plan for traffic so you're not late. And then get there early so that you can kind of, because there might be other people taking the different exams in that building, so then I'd recommend getting there early so you can get all set up and signed in. And like through this sign-in process, you pretty much walk up to the lady when it's your turn, and then you hand her like your registration form that you printed out, and then they scan your palm. That way, whenever you leave the testing room, you have to rescan it, so then they make sure it's you. So that's kind of what they did at the welcome desk. And then they also take your photo just to have proof that it was you taking the exam. And then when it's time for you to go into the exam, you walk in, and then you scan your hand again, and a lady pretty much hands you a dry erase board notebook thing. And she was like, if you run out, and don't try to erase, 'cause it's hard to erase, so just raise your hand if you need anything. So then she brought me to my little desk, which kind of had a normal sized computer screen, and then it kind of had dividers between the things, so you couldn't like look side by side, so it's kind of like your own little space. And then they also included like noise canceling headphones, and then they also included, I think, earplugs, if I'm not mistaken. So I used the noise canceling headphones with different people taking different exams in that room. People would leave or come in at different times, so I was like, I don't need the distraction when I'm taking my exam. And then when it was time for my break, I actually took 15 out of the 20 minutes I believe you're given. So I just went out to the lockers they had in the main area where I stored my stuff, and I ate a little bit of food, had some water, and then I went back into the exam. And then they scan your hand a lot, so you just have to be ready to get your hand scanned. And then when you leave your exam, they actually print out a little thing with your photo on it and just says you took the exam, wait for your results, 7 to 10 days. So you to just wait for your results. So I took the exam on a Tuesday, I believe, and I think normally scores are released on Wednesdays, so I pretty much had to wait, not the day after, but I had to wait the following Wednesday, and I got it around 10 in the morning. I found out I passed the exam, so I was really excited because that means I'm on the next step of my career in civil engineering, so I was pretty happy about that. And I found, like, after I walked out of the exam, though, I felt like I did really bad, and I was just like, I don't know if I passed, but I ended up passing because obviously, like the school I go to, they really prepare us well for the exam, so I felt pretty good. But I'd say definitely all the different review stuff I used from online, I'd say that really helped me prepare for it, and then the book I used, and then running through the practice problems that from the actual people that make the exam, I found that super, super helpful. So this is kind of like my little video about my experience taking the FE exam, and I hope this video helps you guys out to prepare for yours. And if you guys have any questions, just comment below or just let me know, and then I'll do my best to answer and to give you guys any advice or answer any of your questions. So I'll provide all these links in the description below about things to help you guys out and like different reference things. So thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day, and good luck on the FE exam. You guys will do great. Bye.